Well, pole positions were 2 points. And speaking of pole positions, Scyther already has many to his name this season so far. How about add another one? And that is by a long, long margin over his competition. 6.5 tenths Scyther does it. For the first time in a couple of rounds, it's going to be someone other than Skither taking pole position. Blonde, the only other driver with multiple race wins in the season, is your pole sitter. The two championship protagonists, top two in the championship, gonna duke it out side by side at turn one. Skither down the inside. Gonna go wheel to wheel, and by turn two, will they still be wheel to wheel? No, Skither ahead. That was due to the slide from Valkyrie. Blonde comes through the penultimate corner, now the final corner. He is going to be our second repeat winner of the F2 season, and he is the first repeat winner of the sprint races. Blonde cruises home to victory. Points lead, Skither wins for the third time this season, dancing to the line, and he does it with a big, big gap, 18 seconds. He played the strategy to perfection. Third to first, no penalties to his name, and now a fourth win to his name as well. Blonde wins in Imola. Blonde, does he go for it? These two going at it again. It's been so many times. The two drivers who've won multiple races, the only two. Blonde around the outside. Scyther's gonna pinch him. They're gonna be side by side. They touch. Blonde into the wall. Scyther is gonna win his 5th race and his 10th podium on the season. But there's a new face in F2. Scyther's your champion. After L7 Forgy's had it for the last 4 seasons, Scyther takes it away.
And now I'll take it away once again. It is time for F2 Abu Dhabi, and it is the season finale. I'm your commentator, Ryan Ocon31. It's good to have you all join us. And we are ready for some action. Searles lead the Constructors' Championship, and they are trying to win over Prema. A 29-point gap as we enter today. Last week it was Francie and Blonde, the two winners. Tier 2 yesterday was Beatnik, who won it. We will see if the win stands. But 29 points the gap. And a feature race with it. Just one feature race, it seems, due to the lack of attendance. 45, I'm trying to think, 44, 46 points on offer. So let's see who does it. So with that said, we have a couple more drivers joining us potentially in the lobby for the race. So this action should be fun to get underway. Before it does get underway, we could potentially give some drivers an interview here. I'm trying to see who would want an interview out of the drivers. So, with that said, how about we give an interview to Griffiths? Give him an interview. Let's see what he has done in this F2 season quickly in my stats. He's got a podium to his name. So yeah, let's ask him what he thinks of getting a second one today with lower numbers in the lobby. How about that? We'll talk to him about how you feel ascended today. Griffith, welcome along. Good afternoon. So, obviously low attendance. I think it's attempt number 2 at it, if I believe. With the lobby and the race itself, looks like just a feature race. Either way, you already have one podium to your name in the season already. What do you think you're going to be able to do in order to get a second today if the race does go forward this time?
It'd definitely be nice to get a win today. Obviously, try and carry a bit of momentum going into next season. I've been busy on a lot of Saturdays this season. So this is only my second race. But if next season, obviously I can get some momentum and some form going, I do think I could challenge for the title. So, yeah, I look forward to it. If I could get a win today, that'd be great. But I love driving these cars. So we'll just see how it goes, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're fun cars to drive. I just drove them, not too long ago, as you already know. Speaking of next season, obviously there's a lot of questions that still remain about it with F2. Is it going to be the last F2 season? Is it going to go forward? What's the deal with it? If it does, you already are a previous champion, you mentioned. So,
yes.
What do you think your chances are for going for a second championship in F2?
I think F2 on this game is definitely my strong suit. I do hold a few world records at the moment. I'm currently leading the championship in my other F2 league, but I've not raced here for years, to be honest. Obviously, the level of competition's gone up. I've never raced against people like L7, Sai the Bourbon Boy, Choco. Blonde I've raced against occasionally in my other F2 league, but it's an entirely different ballpark, and it's way too soon to say.
Yeah, for sure. So, 9 drivers in here. My last question before we potentially get going. Do you think the action with 9 drivers in here will be a lot more? We just got into a lobby previously with a little over half the drivers. A little fun lobby before this. Which kind of got it back going, I guess, in a way you could say. And there was a lot of intense action. Do you think we're going to see that with less drivers here? A lot of close quarter racing and everyone all in a gaggle of cars?
Potentially. I think obviously the difference with that 5-lapper is completely randomised grid. So it meant that some of the quicker people could have been towards the back, could have been towards the front. With this, obviously with qualifying being involved, in theory the fastest people should be at the front and the slowest at the back. But F2 always produces chaos, always produces action. So I'm just hoping for a good race overall, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. Good luck in today's race if it does get underway, and we hope to see you at the end there on the top step of the podium, or even on any step of the podium, at minimum.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So it does look like we're actually getting readied up here. So it is actually going to go underway. I know there's a lot of question marks on how it got done, and I know there's a lot of controversy with it. But it's time to see what the drivers can do. 9 of them here. I just mentioned, our practice lobby we had, obviously, yes, it was 3 and 5 lappers, but it actually turned out to be very interesting, to say the least. Yes, randomized grid, very true, with what Griffiths just said, but I'm interested to see how this goes, mainly due to the fact that not only the randomized grid, but it's just a feature race now, and you have the faster drivers in the league and Prema, and some of the drivers who are not as fast in F2 in Searles. So this puts Searles on the defense. They have everything to fight for here. Well, they have everything to lose, in fact. So now, before we get underway for qualifying, let's mention the title gap once again. 29 points with Searles and Prema. We at least get a season finale for F2. Who knows what the future holds around here, but an unknown time for RPL. Let's get the action underway. And it is qualifying time. Skither has 4 poles to his name. Blonde has a pole to his name. Valkyrie, she has a pole to this name. I think she's the only driver in this lobby who does have a pole to her name. I'm going to double check that quickly. Either way, we are getting underway for qualifying. Here we go. And it is in the daytime as well, so this should be very interesting toward the driver's conditions and how things turn up to be. We are waving that green flag for qualifying now. One-shot qualifying. And to my knowledge, Hunter Instincts, none of them are in this lobby, so I believe Valkyrie is the only driver in this lobby with a pole position this season in F2. So at least to end the season, we have a race getting underway. It's probably not in the best fashion, as we are very aware of, but it decides the Constructors' title. So we have something that gives us that, which is good. We have many different podium sitters on our list as well, so we'll look out for what they can do. Either way, we're about to go through the sector split of Sector 2, and you have Griffiths leading Valkyrie. And remember, this is for two points, so this is perfect for Prema with Griffiths, who is leading the Category 4 pole position. It's between Griffiths and Valkyrie right now. On our charts, we have Griffiths, who is coming through the last twisty section of the track. Head of Valkyrie, head of Beatnik, then Francie, then Titan, your top 5. Remember, there is no reverse grid order. FBL is going to start last. However, Griffith come into the line off the final turn. It is going to be pole position, and that's by a long margin. 6/10. The driver we just talked to has a lot of confidence, and he is on pole position. Your top 3 will be Griffiths, Valkyrie, Beatnik, Francie, Titan. The top 5, excuse me. And this is very interesting because Bourbon got disqualified. Prema going to start from the back, but Prema also going to start on pole position. So we'll keep an eye out for our title contenders throughout the race with Searles and Prema as we end qualifying. And here is your qualifying order for the one and only feature race that's going to end the F2 season, Season 17. Griffiths, Valkyrie, Beatnik, your top 3. Francie and Titan round out the top 5. All drivers who set a time within 1.4 seconds. Searles and Prema have one car both inside the top 5. Outside of it, Tret Racer and FBL, who shared the top 5 finishing positions at Saudi Arabia earlier in the year. Blue Goggy and Bourbon Boy. The final 2 spots in the grid, Searles and Prema. That's all you're going to hear today. Searles and Prema, your champion of Skither, not here. And it is time for a night feature race. Remember, if excuse me, I meant to say, remember, if Prema do win this race, it would now go to ties, meaning Searles would get the upper edge on second place finishes. So this could be interesting if it does end in ties with wins. Here we go. Time to get underway for the finale of F2 Season 17. It is go, go, go! Griffiths off the line well, Valkyrie following and having to cover off Beatnik already. They go single file for the first 4 cars into turn 1. A little contact back there. That's Blue Goggy and Strat Racer, both with damage. Blue Goggy for Searles. Big implications toward this championship, but Beatnik's gonna take second place already. 5/10 now the gap between Beatnik and Griffiths for the race lead. And diving down the inside, FPL goes on Titan. FPL getting the upper edge. He cuts right in front of Titan. That was close. And off the road in the background, that is Blue Goggy and Strat Racer. Blue Goggy taking the escape road. Strat Racer off the road. And Bourbon Boy now in Titan. 3 wide! Bourbon down the inside. Gonna lock the brakes up and gonna get past Titan. Now gonna switch it back, and FPL can't do that this time. However, he has another opportunity down the straight. Here comes Bourbon Boy at it once again. Inside line, outside line. Which way does he go? However, the top 4 still stay within a second of one another. Titan with the switchback now. The switchback you can just ask for, but it's not going to be enough. Bourbon still covers off Titan. Titan having a look to the inside. Gonna get a warning for that. He cut the track. And he also lost time with it. Here is lap 1 completed. Griffiths with the fastest lap and the lead of the race. Remember, due to qualifying now, Prema have to beat Searles by 27 points. If we go into some sort of tie situation, it would be 28 points. Remember, the ties are so important when it comes to the titles to be decided. Here we go. Second lap of the race. It is Valkyrie following Beatnik for what looks to be the podium position in this race. Remember, they do have to pit at some point, and that is Strat Racer off once again and into the barrier. He's going to hope for a safety car in order to help his hopes for a race. However, he is doing donuts. Here comes Valkyrie, second place in this race on Beatnik. Inside line, gets the move done. Now Beatnik has to cover off Francie. And more yellow flags. That's for Strat Racer continuing to spin out. But they now stay single file, and that was FBL riding the curbs and hurting his chances of gaining on these guys now. On soft tires, by the way. Remember, the 2 Searles drivers, 10 points in their name, and Strat Racer now out of the session. Will this bring out a safety car? It does not. Searles 10 points versus Prema 26 plus 8, 34. So that would be 24 points. They still need a couple more points as we run. The gap in the Constructors' Championship, 3 points between Prema and Searles. They need more points now. And Bourbon Boy can take advantage with the battling in front of him. It's absolutely perfect that he could do just that. So, now, third lap of the race, Beatnik will have DRS and Valkyrie for second place in this race. How about FBL, who's on the back of this train as well, trying to catch back up? Also, you have Bourbon Boy, who's also following in the wings. Titan also waiting for something to happen. But with Strat Racer DNFing, 7th and 8th right now holds on with Prema. Or, excuse me, Searles. You have Francie waiting in the wings of Beatnik right now. Cannot make the move. Griffiths just continuing to pull away for Prema. Still the gap in the Constructors' Championship. 3 points between Prema and Searles. Prema leading. Searles 7th and 8th. And here goes off the road. That is Francie using the escape road, entering turn 2 to try to gain some time after he made a mistake at turn 1 and to cover off FPL. Little slide there from Valkyrie, but it's not going to mean anything in terms of the lead. It's going to mean something trying to hold off Beatnik for 2nd place in this race. Well, we talked to Griffiths about his chances of winning. I mean, he really liked his chances of winning, I guess, and he took his words literally. Well, it's still DRS for 2nd place on back, but it's really a matter of, can you find a way around your opponent and can you force them into a mistake right here? It'll be a little bit till we see some pit stops, but every driver trying to follow one another, trying to put someone into a mistake. The gap for the lead, almost 4 seconds already as we're about to enter lap number 5. Orban Boy still not gaining any time to the back of this train. Remember, if Orban Boy can gain that place, the gap in the Constructors' Championship would be 1 point. 1 point would separate Searles and Prema. Still, they run single file. Valkyrie almost getting Beatnik out of DRS, so Beatnik might be vulnerable right here in this situation. He is out of DRS. So now here comes Francie trying to make the move on this back straight with the DRS applied. And he's got enough momentum to be there by the braking zone. However, he's going to have to do it in the brakes right here. Thinking of the outside line right there. Oh, he almost touched. However, Beatnik is caught back up for DRS here on Valkyrie, so he's covered Francie off beautifully right now in the gap for 3rd, 2nd, and 4th. Francie actually going to try something right here. Not enough. Five seconds now. The gap for the 5 seconds. Griffiths is in his own race, just absolutely pulling away. DRS still from 2nd to 5th. However, Orban Boy is trying to gain to it. Titan has lost ground to Orban Boy. So now Titan and Goggy have to fight it out. That was a little slide there from, I believe, either FBL or Francie. It's almost cost them a lot of time. However, look at the gap with Orban Boy now with that. Almost into DRS. So he's right in the playing field as well now. This could get hairy for position. And now he is within DRS. The Prema driver trying to make the gap in the Constructors' Championship shrink. He's got the chance to do it. And it's a good thing Orban Boy is close into that gap, because now we get something to watch here when it comes to the Constructors' title and the race itself. All DRS here, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd. All trying to follow one another, trying to find some way to put the other driver into a mistake. When we talk about F2 this season, the interesting thing that I want to mention is Blue Goggy is currently running in the points. If he stays in the points, we have over 40 drivers confirmed who end up scoring points in the F2 season, and FBL has picked up a penalty, meaning we have a race on our hands. Prema net P5 with Bourbon, meaning the gap is now 1 point in the Constructors' Championship, and we've now got a safety car. Blue Goggy's missing his front wing. Griffiths passed the pit lane, but now the rest can come in. And I think Beatnik at the back of Valkyrie right there. That could mean a penalty, and FPL passes Francie in the pit lane. That got interesting right there. Griffiths is going to stay out another lap, obviously, and not catch the safety car this time, luckily. So Valkyrie beats Beatnik out of the pit lane. FBL also overtook a car into the pit lane right there, so now it gets interesting where he can come out. Borbin going to beat him out. Is Francie or Titan going to beat FBL out? It looks like no. Actually, Titan's going to beat FBL out. So this gets interesting with Shrews now. Shrews put their car in perfect position now. And that's exactly what they need in terms of the Constructors' Championship. They need a car in position to fight Perma. And remember, 8 drivers left in this race, so this could get very interesting in terms of that. We see Blue Goggy making his way out of the pit lane after a front skirmish, we'll call it. However, Griffiths is going to enter the pit lane now, change tires likely. Everyone who pitted got onto the softs except for FBL. And Griffiths is in. Do not speed. He did not speed. Valkyrie could potentially be the leader after this. We will see if that'll be the case. Probably not, considering the gap compared to Griffiths, but depends on if everything goes to plan. They let him go. He's out and away. Soft tires for him. The only driver not in soft tires is FBL. We did get overtaken there by Titan. And here comes Griffiths out of the pit lane. It will be well ahead of Valkyrie. So now it's a fight in our hands, second on back once again. But with the race neutralized, we'll see what happens. You got to get a good restart. That's what they always say. You got to get a good restart. And that's what some of these guys have to do. Whether you apply penalties or not from FBL's name, championship still in single digits, but would not make much of a difference. Also, let's talk about driver standings. So you have Valkyrie trying to pass Mythic for third place as well. You have Borbin, who's here, trying to pass Ads for 6th place, even in front of that. Tadpole for 5th. Beatnik as well is 8th, trying to gain more spots. Tire Iron Wolf currently sits 10th in the championship, trying to gain some spots as well. He could pass Cryptic, he could pass Beatnik. In a season which saw him return to the podium. FBL is also here. 12th in the championship currently, could pass that person, could potentially pass Titan. We have other drivers as well who could pass others. However, we're going to take the assumption that the safety car could be in at the end of this lap. But I doubt it will be. Griffiths as well, 23rd in the championship, only because of the podium as well. You could gain tons of places. There's a lot to play for here today in RPL F2, almost halfway into this race. So now the safety car stays out another lap. Remember, FBL at a disadvantage on those medium tires, but he could go to the end of the race safely compared to the others on that tire length. Now everybody caught up to the safety car right here. Should we get an interview with Trot Racer? I don't know. Probably not with the safety car coming in this time. After this today is Tier 1 as well. 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time. Make sure you tune into that. They're at Hungary. I'm hoping there's more viewership for this one. I cannot lie to you guys on that. I cannot go without saying that it is unfortunate what happened to F2. But all I can do is promote Tier 1 at this point for the rest of today. Here we go. Safety car coming in at the end of this lap. Griffiths leads the way, and he gets to control the field, and he's actually backing up quite a bit. He is waiting a while. We might get going by the actual braking zone right here. He is slowing the field down 37 miles per hour. We're going to watch from the back of this field right here, or actually midfield. We're going to watch on board with FBL. See what happens in the midfield. We're going to see when Griffith is ready to go, because the safety car is about to enter the pit lane. Driver's getting ready to go. Getting ready to pounce. Any mistakes? Griffith slid right there, but I don't know if he's ready to go. Valkyrie is definitely ready to go. And now Griffith does go. He's on the gas, foot to the floor, back underway. Green flag racing once again in RPL F2. FBL close to Titan right there, but you can't overtake until the start-finish line, so this could get very interesting, in fact. Off the road there, that was Francie using the escape road for the second time in this race. Could be 2 warnings to his name, so likely facing a time penalty for track limits. Oh, off the road, Blue Goggy! Into the wall! And if things could not get worse for Searles, it just has Francie and FBL now go side by side. And position swap right there. FBL now back ahead. But Francie in the slipstream, trying to gain. Little lag right there. However, FBL keeps the place. However, Francie's thinking of a dive, cannot do it. And that got tight. And that is more yellow flags. Blue Goggy has damage is throwing even more. And I don't know if he's giving up or what is going on with Blue Goggy, but he has got no front wing. And FBL has now been overtaken by Francie side by side for 6th place. Francie ahead of FBL. Blue Goggy's hopes are really dashing down right here, and I don't know what is going on with Blue Goggy right here, but I think he's trying to DNF himself, and he now has. Question now becomes, will this bring out the safety car? I do not think it will. So now back to 5th and 6th place. Gets close, Titan and Francie right here. Here comes Francie on Titan. Once again, which way does he go? Oh, he hits the back of him! Oh, more contact! A ton of contact between Titan and Francie, and Titan's into the wall. And that is implications for both because they've got corner cutting penalties with it. Unbelievable. Is that a misjudgment right there? FBL goes by. And it's important to mention in terms of the Constructors' Championship of Blue Goggy out of this race, it is not over yet for Searles. Third place is on the cards right here between Beatnik and Bourbon Boy. However, Titan has to do his opportunity to take what he can right here. Fastest lap obviously is Griffiths right now. Searles will be overtaken by 1 point over Prema, so this could get interesting. Here goes Bourbon Boy trying to make the move on Beatnik now, not enough. And here we go, Bourbon and Beatnik once again. Beatnik cuts him off and is still ahead. But Bourbon's going to fight this back for what he can. He's doing everything he can for Prema to win the Constructors' title. If he could just find a space down the inside, he can't. Valkyrie also covers off Beatnik. And they all remain in position. With 4 laps remaining, title hopes for Searles are really in question right now as Francie has crashed in the final sector. Looks like that does not mean anything as we stand right now. Here is Bourbon Boy once again trying to gain some spots. Francie 5-second time penalty speed in the pit lane. I think his race is over. However, Bourbon Boy down the inside of Beatnik. Here we go. Side by side. Beatnik trying to hang on inside line for the next corner. But there's contact. There's more contact. They banged wheels and Bourbon Boy is currently ahead. But Beatnik's going to fight this back with all he's got. In the slipstream, is he going to go to the inside? Yes, he is. Diving down the inside from a long way back. They almost touch wheels, but this is extremely important right now. They're side by side. They bang. Bourbon Boy's ahead. And now that puts Prema ahead in the Constructors' fight. Francie pitted and obviously could go for the fastest lap. And it would mean, obviously, that if they were to tie, Searles would have had it. But with Beatnik lagging out of the session now, there becomes a lot of questions here. But Beatnik lagging out. Here comes FBL and Titan. Titan also getting overtaken by FBL. Griffiths just absolutely coasting out to a lead. 1.6. That gap has kind of stayed a little stable, but it's gained itself a little bit throughout time. Francie with another corner connect penalty. And Beatnik also getting overtaken by FBL now. About to be Titan as well. And Titan does pass him. So, if Titan now does get 4th place right here from FBL. 26 points? I'm trying to think here. Francie's retired from the session in the pit lane. He's out. So that's now 6 runners in this race. Trying to think of the current gap right now. 40 to currently 10. Titan does take it over. Still would not be enough for Searles. What absolute heartbreak with Blue Gog out of this race. If he had just stayed in, maybe stayed in AI, I mean, he would have been just fine. They would have currently the driver or the constructors championship right now. Imagine if he was still 7th, we'll say, right? 6 points. They would have had it. Bourbon is now within DRS of Valkyrie with 3 laps to go. Will we see an overtake? Now becomes the question. Bourbon closing that gap, but just not enough for position to be traded. Gotta think about it in the next year. Straight B-Nick with no penalties. Fighting Titan. Pinching. Titan is. And contact! B-Nick goes down the inside. He is through currently on Titan. Titan trying to switch back, but it's not enough. Bourbon Boy does have enough, though. Momentum on Valkyrie. Outside line. Here we go. They touch. And Valkyrie is still ahead. And Bourbon still continues the action here. Down to the triple right. Cannot make the move. And B-Nick holds on over Titan. 8 points to Prema's 41. It comes crashing down for Searles. They took over the constructors lead. They built a gap by Imola. Think of that. That is the biggest bottle I think I've seen in RPL history if this gets done. The points gap, just what, 60 points heading into Imola? That is truly the biggest flop I've seen. 60 points now, Prema taking it over with the penultimate lap underway. I cannot believe that. Bourbon Boy is a lot closer to Valkyrie this time for second place in this race. Which way does he go? Ducks out. Outside line by the braking zone. Gonna have the inside line by the next corner, but Valkyrie pinches. Valkyrie is ahead. And oh, Bourbon Boy slides. It somehow is still a DRS. Bourbon gonna fight this back again. Is it gonna be outside line again? Yes! Outside line! Side by side, wheel to wheel. Valkyrie gonna pinch it. Can Valkyrie stay ahead? They touch! Unbelievable! Valkyrie goes spinning off! And resets, and she could be potentially out of the podium here. FPL's now ahead. B-Nick now about to go ahead. Oh, unbelievable. And it's now a Prema 1-2. They're about to score maximum points on a day that they can win the Constructors title. Titan also waiting in the wings. Almost veered off there at the Latifi corner. And it's now the final lap. The final lap of the F2 season. We end the season with 27 different podium sitters, 11 different winners, 9 different teams to win. But that does not matter. The Constructors title is what matters as we stand right now. We could get 12 different winners. I was about to say 28 different podium sitters, but that's not correct. Bourbon trying to take a 5th podium in the season. Tithe, Mythic for the 3rd most. All teams have finished on podium this season, so can't believe that Searles' best finish in a Constructors race is 3rd, and that came back in Season 8. That was the last season Titan got a podium in this league, in fact. Before this season. I think everything's going to remain the same here. Griffiths has one previous start to his name this season. He had a podium in that previous start. In his second start, he's going to go 2 for 2. And how about winning again this season? The previous champion is back on top in RPL. Bourbon Boy crosses the line second. Prema, they are the champions of F2 for the 5th time. Charouz with that 60-point lead. That came flopping down, and it meant that Prema made the biggest comeback within a span of 3 races in RPL history. They are the champions. They can now say it once again. And by a big, big, big gap. That is the biggest flop I think I've seen. And here are your top 3. And Valkyrie did hang on there for the podium based on penalties, and I guess we missed it at the end, but that is unfortunate. Oh, we did miss it. Five-time champions for Prema. 5 times. I cannot believe that. I really can't. 5 constructors titles, and they cap it off with a 1-2. We now go to, before we go to podiums, your national anthem for the race winner, Griffiths. And there you have it. Griffiths does win the race. And we will now get the top 3 in for interviews. Hello there.
Good to be back here.
It sounds like it is.
Is it a good race to watch, mate?
It was all right. It was very a little dull, but it was nice though. I'll say that. A little dull.
Yeah. Just glad we managed to get a constructors win.
Exactly. So it is time for interviews. I think you're going to be the only one in here out of the three. But you lived up to what you said. I think you kind of expected it. It was nice to see you in the race. What'd you think of overall cruising out in front basically the entire time?
Qualifying, I was actually a bit worried. I completely bottled Sector 1. I was like 2 tenths down on Valkyrie. Afterwards, the place I gained the most time was braking for the middle sector chicane. I think I was by far the latest to brake, so I went from 3rd to 1st, just under braking, and then managed to pull and extend the gap. Feature race, yeah, so I pulled away at the start, wanted to get the gap on the mediums. Safety car came out. Luckily, I managed to get out ahead of it in the pit lane, otherwise I'd have been quite annoyed. Went for a fastest lap straight away and to try and pull the DRS on Valkyrie. Managed to do so, and then I was just tyre saving for quite a few laps. Final 2 laps again, I decided to push, but even with those 3 laps of pushing, I finished on about 65%. So it's a good job I did do the tyre saving. But now I'm really happy with that. Obviously, pole fastest lap win. Even if it's just a feature, like I say, if I can carry this kind of momentum into next season, I would love to be a 2-time champion here, and that's definitely my goal.
Yeah, absolutely. A second win on the, or sorry, second podium of the season, first win on the season for you. 12 different winners throughout the season. How much? Last question. How much are you hoping for next season to go forward, and potentially after that?
Like I said, we'll take it as it comes. I'm a past champion here. I feel very confident in F2 cars this game. So if there is the next season that goes ahead in this league, it's no secret. I want that championship. But anything can happen. It's racing, so anything likely will happen. And then just go from there, really.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win. And
Thank you very much.
I do hope it does go the way it does too as well.
Thank you very much.
That is your race winner, Griffiths, for Prema, his first win of the season, second podium to his name, and Prema win the Constructors' Championship. Skither already got the Drivers' Championship beforehand, but congratulations to our winners this season, to our podium sitters this season. There were like 27 of them. Many different drivers who were in contention for wins, for podiums. What an amazing season we had on our hands. It's now a big question mark next season and onwards for RPL Formula 2. Make sure you catch us later today for 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK at Hungary for Tier 1. Tyron Wolf and myself will cover the action. And until next time, we will see you then.